Good evening. Welcome to Military Strategies. We're live right now, August 14th, 2025. Tonight we're discussing the plan, the main concept devised by Israel, how it will enter the Gaza Strip, how it will take Gaza City, and what Samir has designed to avoid endangering the hostages' lives. But beyond this, regarding the hostages, we must address the leaked medical report, which is terrifying. Don't miss tonight's program, as we'll reveal every detail of what's happening in Gaza. Let's begin. Good evening, family. Welcome to Military Strategies. We're live right now, August 14th, 2025, 12:35 a.m. in Spain, 1:35 a.m. in Israel. Pay attention. War isn't always about combat. There are moments when brotherhood, unity and morale become the true strength. Images from 2023, 2024. Israel's tank and infantry units launched an assault on Gaza City, moving through the streets, dominating every area, iconic locations of the city, a city that still stood tall at the time. Almost 700 days later, these same soldiers continue fighting in the same place, and now they're preparing to re-enter Gaza City, but this time, with a completely different morale and a new warfare concept. Israel has a clear goal: win this war and bring the hostages home, something that might seem almost miraculous, if not for Israel's history of miracles and heroic feats on the battlefield. Welcome to Military Strategies. Thank you so much for being here with us live. Please leave your likes, comments, and share the link across your social networks. It's extremely important to spread awareness of this channel. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe now. If you're new, stay with us because it's worth knowing what's happening in the world differently. As I said, there is a plan, an ambitious one, to conquer Gaza City with minimal casualties, achieve total victory, and if possible rescue any hostages. Gaza, yes, it can be done. It's been done before, no, never like this. Israel is about to teach the world, especially the military world, a lesson it has never seen. Before anyone else reveals it, we're giving you the exclusive tonight, right here on Military Strategies. What is the plan? What roadmap will Israel follow in this entire operation? Well, Gaza City is there, a place almost cursed, where little or nothing remains standing. Why? Clearly it's war. In war you win, and sometimes you lose. This time, Gaza will lose. What is the IDF's plan? For many weeks, many days, we've discussed this situation. We've made maps, speculated about the number of troops Israel would need for this mission. And now comes the massive surprise. Israel will not launch a total, full-scale, massive assault. No, it won't. Pay close attention to the image we're about to show you, as we'll explain every detail. This photograph reveals the reality Israel is about to face. We're not talking about 10,000 troops. The number is lower. We previously estimated between 10,000 and 15,000 defending Gaza City, but none of that. Israel now has better intelligence, and has discovered the enemy's numbers are significantly lower, between 5,000 and 6,000 troops possibly ready to defend Gaza City. Therefore, Israel no longer needs 5 brigades, it can reduce its forces. But there's another interesting factor within the entire action plan. The assault about to be launched has never been done before. The green squares indicate Hamas units, where they're believed to be stationed, preparing, waiting. In blue, Israel's positions, between them a no man's land. So what's the plan? Israel first wants to create a box to isolate Gaza City, define its boundaries, cut it off and seal it. Watch closely as we mark this on the map. Pay close attention. This would be the square, 30 square kilometers. The battlefield would cover about 30 square kilometers, filled with traps and dangerous threats inside. There it is. What is Israel's intention to avoid endangering the hostages while securing victory? Israel will advance on a single front, chosen carefully. For now it appears the advance will begin from Jala, and later from Zayt, where the Christian church is located. A greeting to Father Romanelli. We'll be closely following his updates from there. Tanks will enter from this area, sweeping inward from east to west. Why? Here's where it gets even more surprising. Israel does not want direct combat. No. It wants to apply pressure to force Hamas out of the city, but not so much pressure that it endangers the hostages' lives. If Israel begins advancing from Jala inward, creating a kind of steel wall sweeping westward, it will leave space behind for engineers to search for tunnels, clear areas, seal the perimeter, and allow humanitarian aid routes, like the Rassit Road, for Hamas fighters to potentially leave. This approach is time-consuming, but by moving slowly, Israel can drastically reduce casualties while advancing with a single powerful front, concentrating firepower in one sector, capturing it, isolating it, clearing threats both above and below ground, then moving to the next. This could be the scenario, though I don't confirm it. It's merely a hypothesis based on current conditions and the crisis between the IDF and the government. I believe this would be an acceptable scenario for Zamir, not launching a full-scale assault that endangers hostages, but gradually assaulting different parts of the Gaza Strip, one sector, one block, one neighborhood at a time. But now, I want to share something utterly shocking. The report. The report is devastating. The hostages' condition is terrible, beyond reason, beyond human comprehension. It's pure madness. What we're about to read comes from Israel's Ministry of Health, referencing recent events and information gathered by the Red Cross on the hostages' conditions in Gaza. The details, as I said, are not just bad, they're terrible. Close your eyes as you listen. Imagine yourself in that situation, because what we'll read tonight is harsh. Very harsh. By the way, the United Nations video was censored for showing images of the hostages. Apparently we can see thousands of Palestinians on the platform, but not the hostages, unfortunately. Now, let's begin. This is serious. Extremely serious. Here it is. We'll now show the first translated image, from January to February 2025. On October 7th, horrific acts were committed against communities and areas surrounding the Gaza Strip and nearby cities. Hundreds of children, women, elderly and men were brutally killed, along with related crimes such as abuse, burning people and homes, rape, and looting. As part of this atrocity, 251 civilians and soldiers were kidnapped, including martyrs like Botin, with the goal of exchanging them with the State of Israel, maximizing war gains and protecting their leaders. This plan hasn't worked out well, especially in protecting their leaders from Israeli Defense Forces attacks. Now, to the crucial part. This report presents findings on the captivity conditions of 12 hostages, 4 women and 8 men, returned to Israel during Operation Wings of Sprout. It details the physical and mental health consequences of captivity. This information was obtained with the survivors' consent, based on medical records and interviews with medical teams. First section, food and water. Hostages are fed expired, rotten food full of worms, and forced to drink contaminated water, sewage water and seawater. Health condition. They suffer from constant diarrhea, high fever, severe metabolic disorders, lice, parasites, skin infections, and dangerous internal and external inflammation. Abuse. They endure daily beatings, relentless psychological torture, chronic sexual assault, and sustained trauma. Due to the Red Cross's consistent failure to provide medicine, hostages have lost 40% of their body weight and are on the brink of death from untreated wounds and other medical conditions. I can't show the photo, we'd be censored again. Did you know that the United Nations, Guterres, astonishingly, wants to include Israel as a dangerous country for sexual abuse against Palestinians detained in Israeli prisons from the Gaza Strip and elsewhere? Yet the UN still hasn't designated Hamas as a terrorist group, nor launched a formal, serious investigation into the October 7th atrocities. All this while food continues to enter Gaza and is immediately stolen by these individuals. These are the men responsible for stealing food and taking it to storage. What do you think now? What's your opinion? I believe it's clear, this can't continue. The hostages don't have much time left. Zamir sent a small delegation to Qatar to see what's happening there. He's been in Lebanon, monitoring operations there. But in truth, he's assessing where to get the number of troops needed to hold Lebanon, while finishing the mission in Gaza. The situation is what you see, eating worms, rotten food, drinking sewage or seawater. They don't have much time left. The fact they're still alive is a miracle. A true miracle. But for now, this is the reality. Let's review what's happening right now in the Gaza Strip. According to intelligence reports, as we speak, there are intense airstrikes by the Air Force on the Gaza Strip. Buildings are beginning to collapse, yet despite all this, there are still civilians in Gaza City who have chosen not to leave, remaining under Hamas's so-called protection. Good luck, because they won't be protected. Hamas doesn't want to protect them. They want to keep the food to sell on the black market. Terrible, truly terrible. Now pay attention to what happened in Judea and Samaria. Look at their hands. What you're seeing is astonishing. These are men who were about to carry out another attack on Israel. What stops them? The IDF. The United Nations doesn't stop them. Qatar doesn't stop them. No one stops them. Apparently, no one cares about what's happening. Or so it seems. I only say it seems. Moreover, those suffering most from this entire situation, especially from Syria, are undoubtedly the Gazans. They're going through a terrible time, not just bad, but catastrophic. But that's how things stand. What do you think about this new warfare concept? Instead of going all in, Israel attacks one point and begins advancing forward. This way, Bibi stays calm. Right-wing politicians in Israel stay calm. Left-wing politicians aren't too upset. Zamir is trying to keep things balanced in the center, avoiding extremes. Teodoro Torres, Estrategias Sinin, Mrs. Dian, Tasamero, Will Kira, we love you. Many thanks to all moderators, and especially to Jose Mejia. Thank you for staying informed since October 7, 2023. The media feeds us disinformation, bias, and anti-Semitism. They don't know who the real enemy is. But the truth is here. What guarantees Israel that Hamas, in a state of desperation, cornered and losing, won't move the hostages from place to place? They're likely already being moved. But it's very probable, very possible, that Israel knows these movements and knows where to find them. I believe Israel isn't moving in yet, not because it doesn't want to, but because it can't. But eventually they will. The other day in Deir al-Balah, a mid-level Hamas figure was captured. Israeli forces entered in a disguised vehicle, dressed as Gazans, acting and speaking like them, but they were Israelis. We're talking about Folda, Shin Bet, Yamam, all working together. It's possible, very likely, we'll see something similar soon. Well family, I'm exhausted tonight, but I hope to see you tomorrow. We'll do many live streams, God willing. Thank you so much for being live with us. See you in the next episode of Military Strategies. I'm Ethan Cross. Don't forget to leave your like, your comment, and subscribe to the channel.